It was a big night tonight. It's always a big night when we honor our Pee Wee program.
Mm.
Yeah.
And we had about
Yes.
100 young people run through the helmet with the smoke going and all that stuff. Those
Yeah.
kids eat that up.
I love it.
We
But-
always did.
Oh,
We did.
You do.
Loved it.
Oh,
loved
you
it.
can't wait to be out on that turf at Alumni Stadium. So that was a big night for them.
Yeah.
Then what a show the Ironmen put on. So it was a pretty special night.
Lived up
all
to the
around.
hype at Alumni Stadium as far as we're concerned.
Absolutely. Well, and as Coach Hall mentioned in the postgame, he told his kids, he goes, we shortchanged the crowd 2 weeks ago with the Ironton game. And he,
Okay.
but
Okay.
It wasn't a fun night.
It wasn't.
And, we didn't tonight.
Yeah.
The crowd really had to enjoy
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah. They got their money's worth tonight.
Absolutely.
They
Yeah.
definitely got their money's worth tonight. Fun. Of course, Dan, and Pete, the voices of the Ironman here. I made a funny joke at Pete because he said, be mindful this evening because Andy in that postgame show is notoriously the longest postgame show around. And I said, well, Pete, we may very well have something to say about that this evening. So, but again, he always gives such a killer interview. So thanks for bringing some of that insight to us as well.
He's not found a microphone he doesn't like.
No,
He's
he loves
phenomenal
talking.
on
We
one,
have
too.
done
Great.
that for years. We do the pregame interviews. We do the postgames. He's great.
And I tell you what, the microphone loves that man right back.
Yes, they do.
And
So-
so
Yes,
does
they do.
anyone listening.
I got to throw a couple things out because I'm an old guy and I'm going to go home here soon. I'm
Yeah,
hungry.
absolutely.
You guys are here to what, midnight?
Whatever time they tell
Yeah.
us we can leave, we consider it.
Okay.
I'm interested to hear, Dan, what your thoughts are on the rest of this Jackson Ironman schedule, right?
Well-
next week they go to Ross, which is a tough game, but then
We
you look
played
at
them
this.
last year.
Yeah.
I know we don't know what they even did tonight. I don't know if you guys got a score.
I haven't seen yet.
I've
But
seen Ross
they were
yet.
1
They
and
were
2
1 and 2
coming into
heading
the
in.
night. They were a talented team last year.
Yeah.
So
Played
it will be a
Wilmington.
challenge. It's going to be one long road trip. I
Yes.
think Wilmington has struggled a little bit, so they might
Yeah.
be 2 and 2.
Yeah.
But they're a big school. It's points again. See, tonight we gained a lot of points
Bunch.
with a Division III team like us who had the 3 wins.
Yeah.
And so this was a big point for our standings. Obviously, we'll later on worry about the computer
Yeah.
part of that. As Coach Hall will say, the league is number one.
Yep.
You got to win the
Always
league
is.
number one. But we
Wilmington
wanna
beat
finish.
Ross today, 35-21.
Okay, all right. Well,
It's a tough look
we'll
for
try
us
to do
there.
it to him again
I
next
was right there with you. I thought Ross had that one thing.
I would have
I
thought
really
they
did.
might have had a shot at that one. But big game that finishes up the pregame. Then we have the 5 FAC games, and
Mm-hmm.
Ironmen certainly have a run going within the league on
Yeah.
there. So, coming into this year, I thought we were going to be pretty good. We have a nice big offensive line. But
Nice.
last year, the
Very
first
nice.
5 games truly were rookies.
Yeah.
I mean, they struggled.
Yeah.
They struggled. And boy, to watch them come along and become pretty good as the year ended up, and just about all of them are back.
Yeah.
We only lost a couple guys from that offensive line. So the experience is, well, same thing. They're getting better each week. I thought the difference tonight's game was going to be offensive line.
Yeah.
Our offensive line should have been a big advantage over their defensive front, and it turned out
It was.
that
Definitely
So
was.
what do our skill kids get to do? And let's praise the offensive line, praise the defensive front
Yep.
7. But our skill kids, listen to this.
Oh, boy. Here we
Here
go.
we go.
Nolan Johnson, 14 carries, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns, a 62-yard run on the first play. Not
Getting
bad.
it done.
Now, Bodie Wooford, who was banged up all week long. We
Yeah.
tried to protect him a little bit, and I didn't want him taking too many hits. As hurt, goes 14 for 18 for 208 yards,
Oh, my
4
gosh.
touchdowns.
Looking good.
Now, Ryan
Oh, my
Simetz, night and
gosh.
catches, 162 yards,
Wow.
3 touchdowns,
Feels like he's found his go-to guy.
and an
there,
interception.
receiver.
Now, here's the one that will shock you. All those stats were first half.
Wow.
my God.
That was so perfectly done.
Yeah, he made us there.
Wow.
Bodie didn't throw a pass the second half. Ryan didn't catch a catch the second half. And Nolan didn't even dress the second half.
Oh my gosh.
Those are and here's one, and I've only been doing this for decades. Ryan's 9 catches for 162 yards and 3 touchdowns. One of the great receiving games in the history of
Yeah,
Jackson.
All
Granted,
time.
There haven't been many games equivalent to that. And I even told Coach Hall
Yeah.
in the post-game show, but he did it in 2 quarters.
Wow.
Now think of that. Nobody's ever done that in 2 quarters. I'm going to guess.
And he has another touchdown if Bodie doesn't slip
Yep.
on 4th down.
Yep, he well, Bodie tried to go left.
I know,
couldn't
trying to
quite
make
get
a heck
there.
of a play on 4th down,
Well, we
man.
were wanting Bodie not to take any hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and so that
Yeah.
was important. But
Yeah.
those stats, but when you get stats like that, the guys in the trenches are doing the job.
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
We named our Monroe Collision Hit of the Week award winner this week was an offensive lineman. And one of the touch, I think it was one of those bubble screens to Ryan that he walked.
Yeah.
He followed Colson Oyer and Hunter Seitz. They drove a young man about 9 yards into the end zone.
Was it the back right towards the fans on the fence? Like back right corner of the end zone?
yeah.
Yeah, I watched
It was
that
an
one.
unbelievable block. And they just kept driving, and Ryan's just having fun, kind of following them. And then slides right.
Was
in
right
for
before
one
the
of
half, I
three.
believe.
Yep.
It was a great.
thing
It
of
was a
beauty.
great team effort to
Thing
get
of
him
beauty.
in the end
That's
zone there
kinda neat.
too.
I mean, we had a lot of good hits on the defensive
Mhm.
end, but when you get a block like that,
Yeah.
you got to award that a little bit. So that
Absolutely.
was kind of fun stuff.
I'm all
That's
for you
great.
rewarding the lineman.
Yeah,
No,
we
well,
know you
we
are,
do
Bob.
we do the Doug's for the Athens County Game of the Week. They do the Doug's Carry Out Lineman of the Week, which they always give to
That's
the best
yeah.
lineman from the game. I don't have the Fed Hawk roster in front of me, but I know exactly which players. The Fed Hawk's big tackle who had a couple
Yeah.
sacks, he had a couple big plays. So going back to Jackson, right?
Sure.
That Ironton game, Ironton is real good, right?
They're
And
real good.
I think most people know that, right?
We're so far really the team that played them
Yeah.
long.
I know,
That
and-
with 3 minutes to go in the half, we're right there. We have a lead.
And that
And then it
feels
fell
good.
apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And,
but then when you look at the rest of the schedule and you look at how Ironton stacks up in Region 11, how do you feel like this Jackson team is starting to find itself maybe as it starts to conference play, and they'll be favored in almost all of those games, if not all of them. But
Well,
how
with
do you
the
feel like
loss
this
to
team's ready to go?
Ironton, and maybe the fact that there's going to be some teams on our schedule aren't going to get a lot of wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
just
just
honest, being
realistic
honest.
on it.
So we got to take advantage of it. We need to win every one of them we can. Hopefully
Yep.
9 of them
Yep.
is the goal right now.
Absolutely.
Be Frontier Athletic champions again. That would be great. Got to stay healthy to do that and
A
keep
lot of
getting
things.
better.
Yeah.
But that seed of the top 16 teams in your region is huge. And to maybe have an opportunity to play at least one game at home at Alumni Stadium and sometimes two,
Yeah.
that is so special. So they can't take their foot off the gas. They just keep getting better. We're better now than we were at the start of the year, and we got to keep it going. We are a little unique in that we can run it and pass it.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's
Really
big in
good.
high school
Yeah.
sports. Now, Coach Hall said next week Ross is pretty much they're not going to hardly throw it. They're going to
Yeah.
run the ball. That's
Yep.
just what they do.
Yeah.
But when you can mix it up, and we saw Brown tonight stacking the line quite a bit.
They
They
did
had
a
6
bunch.
men up front a couple of times because Nolan was running through them,
Yeah.
and the offensive line doing a great job. Well, we had people open. Gavin Jones, how open was he on his?
Oh my!
touchdown?
On the seam.
Oh,
Great
my
throw
gosh.
from
Right
Bodie
before the
though.
half.
Oh,
there,
great
yeah.
throw! Hit him in stride.
Under
but
pressure,
There wasn't
yeah.
anybody within 5 yards
Yeah.
of Gavin.
Yeah. Phenomenal play there.
It just big time stuff happened tonight. It was fun. So great night for the Ironmen. A great night up at Alumni Stadium. Good crowd on hand.
Nice
Yeah,
crowd.
it was a good one.
Good
Nice
crowd.
crowd.
Good
Dan
crowd.
Morrow, man. Legend. Voice of
Hey,
the Iron.
I got
One
to
of.
ask one question while I'm here before I get out of here. I'm getting hungry.
Hopefully it's
um,
for Bubba. No, I'm just kidding.
Who took the air out of Bubba?
Oh,
I
I guess for
broadcast
Bubba.
when he played football, and you don't
Oh,
look
yeah.
like you played football when you did football.
Well, I don't have to do it anymore.
Well, I know, but my guy, you look lean and trim. And
yeah, I mean, I've tried
is
to.
it
You try to get
diet
out.
ski? I mean,
It's definitely. I'll
It
tell you what,
helps.
diet ski
It
does
helps.
miracles.
oh yeah, shake it up on the bottom there.
There you
The
go.
stuff up in there.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
What's left of Bub anyway?
Well, what's left of him looks pretty good. He's
I-
doing pretty well.
I used to make a joke that, of course, we got some of the same features, and I used to make a joke. When people would say, "How you doing?" I'd say, "I'm so great." Feels like there's two of me some days. Now there feels like there is, Bub. It
Yeah.
really does feel like there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Hey,
sir.
thank you for
Thank
coming
you,
on.
man.
It's
Go
awesome.
get you some rest. It's only 11
Yeah.
p.m.
Oh yeah.
The night is
well,
young.
I'm kind of a senior citizen. That gets late. Hey, you guys enjoy. We'll
appreciate
keep
you,
listening
sir.
to you. You're
Thank
doing a
you.
great job.
Of course.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much.
Really
Thank you so
appreciate it, Dan. Always a
Yeah.
pleasure. We're going to take
Yeah.
a quick break. When we come back, more reaction from what was a action-packed day around the 740. You're listening to General Mills Football Friday night.
Broadcasting from the Holzer Studios, taking local healthcare to the next level. We are Southeast Ohio's hometown rock station. Q Rock 105 WXTQ Athens. USA, a total media station.
Need new tires? Rick's Tire and Auto has you covered. Looking for top-notch auto service? Rick's Tire and Auto has expertise. And now they're bringing their A-game to Athens County. Owned by Rick Dieter, formerly of Huddle Tire in Athens. Rick's Tire and Auto Service is located at 1353 East Canal Street in Nelsonville. Right off the first Nelsonville exit on 33 West. Stop in for a quick tire change or oil change or schedule an appointment by calling 220-218-4169. At Rick's Tire and Auto, we have your vehicle covered.
Are you craving mouth-watering, finger-licking barbecue that'll have you coming back for more? Look no further than Pig Iron Smokehouse Barbecue and Grill, where real wood and real flavor rules supreme. Sink your teeth into our signature smoked ribs, tender pulled pork, and juicy brisket, all slow-cooked to perfection with our secret blend of spices. And don't forget our delectable sides. From creamy mac and cheese to tangy coleslaw, there's something to satisfy every craving. Come visit us at our location in the Plains or online. Pig Iron Smokehouse Barbecue and Grill, real wood, real flavor.
Looking to buy or sell a home in Southern Ohio? Turn to Howard Hanna Real Estate Services and the McNerlin Network team. We offer a full range of services including mortgages, insurance, and title services to ensure a smooth process. Our new Buy Borrow Bundle program can save buyers up to $10,000 at closing and attract more buyers when selling. Ready to get started? Call 740-702-6000 or text 614-607-8201 for a free consultation. Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, where your home happens here.
Bad hair day? Bad day at the office? Bad day behind the wheel? Hey, stuff happens, even to the best of us. At least your car insurance rate doesn't have to take a hit. Get Erie Rate Lock from Erie Insurance. Gives you a great rate that stays put until you change a car, driver, or your address. Plus, seriously good service. Now that's something to smile about.
Your Erie agent is McFadden Insurance. Get a quote today by calling 753-1905.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
Football season is here. Keep your athletes at their best with Holzer in Athens. Dr. Jason Cox Orthopedics and Dr. Aaron Ramsey Chiropractic Care are currently accepting new patients. From follow-up care to injury repair, our healthcare team at Holzer Athens will keep your athlete in the game. Call 855-446-5937 to schedule your appointment today. That's 855-446-5937.
Southeast Appalachian Regional Community Health of Ohio is proud to present The Search Project. The Search Project through the Jackson County Health Department is a program designed to decrease the negative impacts of COVID-19 and other public health issues and promote healthy behaviors through the deployment of community health work. The project is funded by CDC and serves 11 counties in southeastern Ohio. For more information, contact the Jackson County Health Department at 740-935-6322.
Are you looking to make a difference in a child's life? At Necco Foster Care, we believe every child deserves a loving home. Join our community of caring families and provide a safe, nurturing environment for kids in need. With support and training every step of the way, you can be the change a child needs. Are you ready to open your heart and home? Contact Necco Foster Care today and make a lasting impact. Visit necco.org or call 740-263-2626. Together, we can create brighter futures. Necco, we build families.
Looking for a home away from home for your furry friend? Welcome to Red Woof Inn, where tails wag and dreams come true. At Red Woof, we offer spacious play areas, cozy naps, and personalized care from our dedicated team. Whether your pup loves fetch or just snuggling, we've got it covered. Our facilities are top-notch and our staff are dog lovers through and through. From playtime adventures to treat-filled cuddle sessions, we ensure your pup has a blast. Give your dog a vacation they'll love at Red Woof Inn, located on Old Dixon Road in MacArthur. Call 740-649-8640 to book your fur baby stay while spots are still available.
Welcome back inside the broadcast booth here in Jackson. It is Football Friday Nights, presented by General Mills. Ethan Sargent, Eric, and Bub Landrum inside the booth here as we take you through what was a intriguing day of results around the 7-4-0. We'll recap the scores again a little bit later on in the night. We do have all of our scores. We'll post them up in a little bit. We'll make sure you get to know your score if you haven't already. I do think we are going to hear from a few more guests over the course of the night. We should get a phone call here in the next couple of minutes from Jeff Davis, Waverly's play-by-play commentator, get a little bit of perspective on how that game went against Valley. That was a 27-21 win for the Tigers. But I guess while we're waiting for him to call in, guys, Lot of good games tonight. A lot of blowouts.
A lot of shutouts.
Bunch of
What do we think? I like asking this question every week. What do we think was the most impressive performance of the week?
I'll go ahead and start it with that
Please.
Rock Hill big win over Chesapeake. I mean, Chesapeake was rolling in at 3-0.
Colgrove over Chesapeake.
Yeah, Colgrove.
What did I say?
Rock
You said
Hill.
Rock
Oh
Hill.
gosh, yeah,
Rock Hill.
Colgrove.
You're
yes.
good.
Yes,
You're good.
my apologies. Colgrove beat Chesapeake 44-14. A very big win for
Nice
Colgrove,
win.
who had to struggle a little bit last week against Meigs and that win. But yeah, they just bounced back this week with a big victory over Chesapeake.
That's a nice win. I'll tell you what else is a nice win. Vinton County Vikings picking up their first win against the familiar face, Nolan Yates, and the Meigs Marauders coming into town. That's a Marauder squad scored a whole bunch of points last week against this Colgrove squad that you were talking about, Bub, that picked up the nice win. I don't know what to make of what's happening around here, but that's a nice win for the Vikings.
Yeah, and they played great defense against Trimble last week. Unfortunately, their offense just wasn't showing up. So yeah, their defense continues to roll with that giving up only 17.
I think hopefully, if everything works, we should have Waverly football play-by-play commentator Jeff Davis on the phone. Jeff, are you there?
I am here.
There we go. Awesome. Appreciate you.
Hey, I have
hopping
a
on with
question.
us.
Did Fed Hawk and Belpre ever end, or they?
It did.
9-0?
It did. I mean, Fed Hawk ended up winning 48-40, and I mean, yeah, one of the longer games we've ever seen here. But you saw a pretty good game tonight. Waverly takes down Valley 27-21. Let us know the story of that game.
Well, I think most people in the area going into that game really didn't see it as a really close contest. I think, most people would say Waverly was a big favorite, but over the last 2 decades, Valley has held their own against Waverly many times, even in years where we didn't maybe think it was going to happen. And that was certainly the case tonight. Valley came out and ran the ball effectively, which has really been most of our fears through the first few weeks, that we might not be able to stop a team that really just continually ran the ball. And that became the case tonight as, Valley racked up over 300 yards on the ground. But, the Waverly offense, there's some playmakers on the outside and a 3-year starter at quarterback. And ultimately that was the difference in the game is, the big plays were there. And, it came right down to the end, though. Valley had the ball, 4th down with maybe 20 seconds to go in the red zone. And then, the Tigers made a big stop to pull it out. But, Waverly's happy to get out of there with a win. But, we even talked on the air about moral victories. Valley's got to feel good about it. But at 0-4, it's hard to feel good about anything. But, they played a really good game, and they're how do you say it? A good 0-4 team.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a great way to say it. And this is a coach, not coach, I'm sorry. Jeff, this is a squad that, fell Waverly. Played Portsmouth pretty daggone well, too. And Portsmouth picked up another big win tonight in OVC action. I know, albeit against the Guy Academy squad that's struggling to get anything done. But
my color guy, Todd Harrison, I talked on the way home about that exact thing, that 15-12 game that Valley, if they were driving the score to win that game at the end, and we didn't know what that really meant in week 1. But as you move forward a few weeks, that obviously said a lot about this Valley team. And one more thing about Valley, they had a tailback, McNeil, 33 was his number, and he was questionable all week. Their do-it-all guy, and he tried to play, but ultimately he didn't play much. But they had number 22, his last name was Aaron, racked up 207 yards on 34 carries.
Wow.
And he was something special. So they really learned something about what they have down there, and they're a well-coached team.
Yeah.
You can have any name you want to coach at Lucasville Valley as long as your last name's Crabtree.
That seems to be the theme.
It was Darren for a while. Now it's Nolan. I don't know who will be next, but that's the only name you're allowed to have down there in Lucasville. They're good folks, and they do a great job with their program.
Makes sense to us, Bub.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, I'm just glad you guys are finally on the air. I mean,
man, I'll tell you what, it's not like us to complain about free football, and we're definitely not going to do it for the Athens County Game of the Week. I mean, free high school
absolutely.
football.
Hey, listen, another game in our area I thought was a big one, a big surprise was Portsmouth West comes back to get their second win in a row over Chillicothe tonight.
I think they let Mason
Chillicothe's
Parker wake
winless,
up.
but that's a big school.
They let Mason Parker wake up.
I'll tell you what.
Problem.
I actually had Chillicothe to pick up their first win tonight, so that surprised me.
Well, that was a bad choice. Well, it wasn't a bad choice to right at
That's
the
why
end,
he gets
I guess.
another loss on the
Jeff,
week.
you should see my sheet. It looks like I played tic-tac-toe with myself. I got so many contrasting marks.
Oh, I did too. My best week of the year.
I had my best week by far. I think it was
Hey,
great.
tell me this. I need an Oak Hill Minford final.
Oak Hill.
I'm gonna shatter the heart.
Yeah, don't do it. I can't listen.
Yeah, it was Minford by 1, 22-21.
I could still hear.
Well,
Falcons
hey,
get
listen,
win
I got
number
to tell you, Todd Harris, my color guy,
Yeah.
liked Oak Hill all night, and I took the Falcons. So,
All
sorry,
right,
Todd, but
Tell him
one
he
there.
picked wrong too. Stay consistent.
You get
now.
one there.
Hey, how about I got one more to ask you about Adina and who was it? Zane Trey.
The Pioneers. Pioneers got the win
Yep.
on that one.
Picked up
27.
their first win.
Adina came back and beat him. No, I'm kidding.
That's what we would do. Dudes being dudes. I love
On
it.
the air, Mr. Harris.
I love it. I love it.
That is awesome.
Hey, Jeff, thanks for calling in, man. I know it's been a late night, and it took us forever to connect with you, but we appreciate your time, man. Thanks so much.
Hey, if we didn't do too bad, you feel free to holler at me anytime, man. Love talk.
Hey, we may very well take you up on that.
Somebody cares, man.
We definitely do. We care about
Appreciate it,
Tiger
Jeff.
Town football.
Oh, yeah. Hey, big one
All right,
next
well,
week.
we're down
We're
at
going
the
to be
West
talking
Side
to you
next
next
week.
week for sure. We're definitely going to be
All right,
talking to
buddy.
you next
Sounds
week.
good.
Thank
You
you,
guys
sir.
have a good one.
Yeah,
You
have a
too.
great weekend.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
All right. Man,
That's awesome.
that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
agree with him. I didn't think that Waverly and Valley game was going to be a blowout like a lot of people thought, though. You know,
Yeah, I mean, I thought it'd be a close contest.
yeah, it was a matchup.
He might be
between two
right
teams.
with the 0-4 thing. With Valley being one of the better 0-4 teams around.
Yeah, they lost
right?
to
They've
Colgrove.
battled everyone though. They haven't lost big. They've
14-11,
right
and I believe like 3.
couple.
Yeah.
It seems like now 2 out of 4 games or 3 out of 4 games, they had the ball deep in opposing territory late in the ball game to tie or win, and they couldn't get the ball over the finish line right at the end. So maybe they just gotta get that last. Literally, it seems like they're tripping at the 5-yard, like Daniel Jones back in 2020 when he was sprinting to the end zone. He fell over himself. Kind of feels like that for Valley right now.
Yeah, Daniel Jones. I won't I won't contribute to this, but I could attest that to the inexperience.
That's exactly where I was going to take it.
Daniel Jones on
That's
the other
exactly
hand,
where I was
going
going to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daniel Jones definitely the young athletic.
I think Ironton might beat the Giants right about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giants look atrocious, but Ironton looks pretty daggone good. But yeah, I attribute that to inexperience, and you're just taking a little bit of time with your guys to win those tough games. They're losing to tough opponents that have been proven. Portsmouth played great football a year ago. Waverly played great football a year ago. Colgrove is playing better football now than they were a year ago.
These
So
teams
3
are all
tough
just
squads.
having a great peak at week 4 and week 5 mid-season. So
And next week, they travel to Portsmouth West, Waverly. That might be a game we look at for Friday kickoff.
Yeah.
That's a huge game.
That's a big game.
And we wouldn't have probably been saying that last week.
Yeah.
Before
it's-
last week, and
of
Portsmouth
course.
West turned their season around.
Yeah, no, and Portsmouth West, that game, at least over the last couple of years, when West has been better than they've been this year, that's always been the game in that conference, right? That is the battle of the Titans.
Right.
And, and then, of course, Waverly does get Wheelersburg a little bit later on in the year as well. And it's good that Waverly plays such a difficult schedule. They got that nice win over Miami Trace. They drop a tough one last week to Unioto. And now, they get a nice bounce back win on the road. They had to fight. They had to battle.
Yeah.
But they got the win. And now, they go into a game that is, it might not be like a traditional rivalry necessarily, but it's absolutely a rivalry. Kind of reminds me of like almost these like Bengals-Chiefs games where, the Bengals and Chiefs aren't, rivals by
just
proximity or location, but it's just the two good teams that play good football and play good games. Of course, those two play on Sunday as well. So we'll see. I know a lot of people around here in the 740 will be looking for a Bengals win in that one.
Still looking for one last week.
Yeah, well, that didn't happen.
It definitely didn't.
It didn't happen. Bengals trying to not fall into some holes that teams in our area have fallen into.
Yeah.
Thing is, with 0-2, you can bounce back from 0-2. Heck, if you're Wheelersburg, you can even bounce back from 0-3. The Berg finally got their first win of the season today. They take down Northwest.
Yeah.
And you'd expect them to kick on now, right? They beat Northwest today. They get Valley next week. So Valley, man,
Poor
that's a brutal,
Valley.
Brutal
Poor
couple of
Valley.
weeks. And then Harvest Prep, who dropped their first game of the season today. They lose to Perkins. I know there are probably a couple Ironton fans that are celebrating that because that now gives Ironton the inside track to that number 1 seed, which is going to be so important late in the year in that Division 5 Region 19 as they look to get that elusive state title, Ironton.
Yeah, and it proves that Harvest Prep is human, right?
Yeah.
I think for a little while
They were
there,
down 21-8 at the end of the first.
Yeah. I think for a little while there it was kind of like, whoa, how good is this Harvest Prep team? Like, if they are as talented as that Ironton squad, holy crap, we might be in for a mega showdown to end this
It seems like
region.
it happens all the time.
I know.
The last couple of years.
I know, and it still very well may be the case, but it does make me kind of favor Ironton that I've gotten to see with my own eyes and realizes that those weapons are definitely for real, and they're only going to get better as well.
We're going to take another phone call here really quickly. I feel like it's a decent time. We're just going to do it real quick.
Let's just do it.
For the Athens Bulldogs, the man who called the Athens dominating victory over the Alexander Spartans, Mr. Daniel Bernard, Athens play-by-play commentator. Daniel, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
I'm doing great, Daniel. Doing great.
Wonderful, brother.
We finally got the show on the road after watching that Fed Hawk game come to a close, and now the Bulldogs.
Yes,
yeah, absolutely. So I think the big question, Daniel, and this might be, I'm not sure how much you're going to know about this, but the big concern coming out of this game for Athens is the health of one Alex Piro. Do you have any idea or updates on what's going on there?
Yeah, it's all speculation.
Of course.
It was the very first play of the game from scrimmage. He bounced a run out to the right side, took it for about 15 yards. He popped right up, looked like he was fine, and then as he's running back to the line of scrimmage, he goes down. Something happened with his lower left leg. We never got an update on what exactly it was, but obviously he never returned to the game. So certainly a lot of anxious thoughts. Certainly prayers out to him.
Absolutely.
And hoping for a speedy recovery, but yeah, he didn't return. But I mean, to be fair with you guys, he didn't need to return.
Well,
I mean,
that was going to be my next.
nothing.
My next question to you was: when you lose a guy like Piro, it is next man up. And boy, did Weston Wheatley take advantage of his opportunity today.
Did he ever? 3 touchdowns on the ground. I don't know how many yards to be exact he had, but it was a lot. I mean, as I'm sure it's expected, pretty much widespread, that Athens didn't really play their starters for most of the second half. They had some of the skill guys out there. Some of the wide receivers in Weston were out there for maybe a drive or two in the second half. But it was the JV and freshman squad for most of the second half. But no, I mean Weston. I mean, all things considered, he didn't get the start, but he pretty much got the start with how much he played, and he definitely took advantage of his opportunity. He looked really good.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that the Bulldogs are just rolling on a different level right now. They are just playing. They are playing teams off the park. Just came out Joe Itel's rankings in Division III Region 11. I literally just opened Twitter and saw this just now. Athens jumps up into second place over Steubenville, over Tri-Valley, over Granville, over Jackson, over some of these teams that are big hitters in this region. And I think it's really because of that strength of victory that Athens has, because they're not just beating teams, Daniel. They're playing them off the park.
No, they're not. And it's been the talk surrounding Nathan White head coach Nathan White coming into the year that he can't win those non-conference games. Well, I mean, he got 3 of them to start the year, and 2 of them big time on the road, and Philo and Galley Academy. So, I mean, he's kind of silenced those critics, and I mean, I can't remember which one of you has been saying it, but might be time to jump on the train.
No, that's me. I've been on the train since like early last year. I saw the talent in this team. I remember calling the Jamboree last year and seeing the talent that they had. And, I didn't think that last year was the year. I thought that this year was the year. And so far, so good. And, hopefully, again, Piro is okay. Hopefully everything comes back clear for him and he will be good to go in the future. We're definitely anxiously awaiting updates for him. And we, again, send our thoughts and prayers to him. Hopefully he is doing okay. But when you look at Athens, next week they take on Vinton County. And again, the rest of the schedule, you'd expect at this point, you would expect Athens to run the table. You would expect them to win the rest of their games. They'll be favored in the rest of their games. So how does this team, you think, Daniel, manage expectations throughout the rest of the year?
Yeah, that's been one of the big things that I have talked with Coach White about in all of my conversations that I've had with him through these past 4 or so weeks is how has he been able to keep the guys grounded and stay true to who they are. And he's told me every single time that I've brought it up, which granted it's only been 3 or 4 times, but he's told me that ever since practice really got underway, at least like working out and stuff like that around Thanksgiving last year, he said it really hasn't been hard to get the guys behind him and silencing that outside noise, because most of them, if not all of them, outside of obviously the freshmen and sophomores, they've all been through it. They've been through the lows, and they don't want to go back there. So they know what's expected of them, but they also know how to stay true to themselves. White said that it has not been hard to get them behind him and silencing that outside noise and just staying true to themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Daniel, this team is just looking like it really could be something special. I saw out of the Athens X account today, they said it feels like 2014 again. And, 10 years later, after that magical run with Joe Burrow and the rest of that super talented squad, we might have another special Athens team on our hands. Daniel, thanks so much for calling in. Really appreciate your time. And enjoy the rest of your night and your weekend.
Yeah, you too, guys. Have a great rest of your show.
See you, brother. Have a great weekend.
Daniel Bernard there. Always good to talk to him on Football Friday night. We're going to take another break. When we come back, more reaction and thoughts throughout the rest of the week. You're listening to Football Friday Night, presented by General Mills.
Hungry for some home-cooked goodness just like Grandma's? Come on down to Mammy's Country Kitchen in Albany. Whether it's our mouth-watering meatloaf, crisp salads, or our creamy mashed potatoes, we've got something to satisfy every craving. Savor some of our homemade noodles, rolls, and desserts. At Mammy's, we believe in good food and great company. Bring your family and friends and stay a while. We're located in the historic Albany Schoolhouse on the hill behind the library. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 8, Saturday and Sunday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mammy's Country Kitchen, where every meal feels like home.
Tired of that annoying drip? Call Rogers Plumbing and More. With over 20 years of experience, Rogers Plumbing and More has been your trusted local expert for residential plumbing. From leaky faucets to major repairs and renovations, Rogers is your go-to for all your plumbing needs. Call Rogers Plumbing and More at 740-447-4589. Rogers Plumbing and More. We fix it right the first time. Visit us online at rogersplumbingandmore.com.
Trying to find a durable new look for your retail office, house, garage, or new barn dominium? Higgins Steel Roofing and Siding has added 2 new profiles within the past year that would make great options. A heavier 26-gauge metal board and batten with several colors to choose from adds a fresh new look to any project regardless of size. Or come in and check out our new options for standing seam. If it's steel roofing and siding, it comes from Higgins. Located in Hillsboro and Jackson, Higgins Steel Roofing and Siding. Family owned and operated since 1958.
Calling all hunters and outdoor enthusiasts. It's time to gear up for your next adventure with our buy one, get 2 free sale on select styles at Rocky Outdoor Gear Store. That's right, 3 pairs of boots for the price of 1. Whether you plan to hit the deer woods this fall, need new hiking boots for the trails, or even a new pair of work boots, we've got you covered. So don't miss out. Stop and see us today at the Rocky Outdoor Gear Store. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Come get fully set up for the fall at the Rocky Outdoor Gear Store.
The General Mills Company of Wellston, manufacturers of great items like Totino's Pizza and Totino's Pizza Rolls, are proud to be a part of the Southern Ohio community. The General Mills Company, just like its hard-working employees in Southern Ohio, are proud supporters of our area youth. The General Mills Company wishes good luck to all area high school teams this season. A message from your friends at General Mills Company in Wellston.
At Adventure Pro Outdoors, we are the experts in outdoor fun. Spend the day on the Hocking River, canoeing, kayaking, or tubing. Sling some mud through Wayne National Forest on a guided Polaris side-by-side tour. Or book a 3-wheeled slingshot and experience the most scenic highways in Southeast Ohio.
Come meet the Adventure Pro staff on Canal Street in Nelsonville, Ohio.
New memories start here. Visit AdventureProOutdoors.com.
Broadcasting from the Holzer Studios, taking local healthcare to the next level. We are Southeast Ohio's hometown rock station. Q Rock 105 WXTQ Athens. USA, a total media station.
Back inside the Total Media Studios. It is Football Friday Nights presented by General Mills, and I know we just got off the phone with him, and here he is back once again, one of our usual correspondents here on Football Friday Night. It's my man, Bo. Bo, how we doing?
I'm doing great. Nice victory tonight.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you about first, because we haven't really heard much about this game. Trimble Tomcats take down the previously unbeaten Wellston Rockets, 38-18. What'd you see that you liked from your Tomcats tonight?
The bone was rolling. You know, you get through the line, they hit the holes, we hit them, and they couldn't take us down. We got 3-4 yards right after the pop, and that goes a long way.
Absolutely. And what about defensively? You know, this Wellston team has kind of had some flashes on both sides of the ball. How did the Trimble defense limit that Rocket offense?
You know, it's they stopped the run good. They made them pass. I mean, I think. Now, I'll say this. The first touchdown Wilson should have had, it should have been called a touchdown, but they called him out of bounds, and I saw it. His feet were in the end zone. But other than that, we made them really uncomfortable. We was blowing the line off the ball, hitting them, just didn't want to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, with the way the Tomcats are playing now, this is, you know, they lost opening night to Nelsonville York, and now after that, it's 3 wins on the bounce for the Cats, and they play Worthington Christian next week. How are we feeling about the state of the Tomcats right now? Again, they lose that first one, but now 3 in a row, and this team's starting to get hot.
I feel like they're finding their identity. It's Wellston. Wellston's never been historically good, but I mean, when you got a D7 taking on a 3-0 D5, I feel like it's a statement win, just in the region. I mean, like, I feel like you could put them out there in Region 27, they'll compete.
I agree. And again, this is a region in 27 that is wide open. It is anybody's game. And Trimble absolutely could be right up there.
It could be Easterns, it could be Danville's, or you never know. Newark Catholic could sneak in at 2-8 and win it all.
Yeah, absolutely. They could. They really could. You know, Newark Catholic's always been a historically good program. They've been down the last couple of years. But I believe they're 0-4 this year, which is pretty crazy to say.
They just lost to Mogador 39-7.
Wow. I mean, that's a program that is, I mean, I covered them for a long time when I covered the Licking County League, and they were always amazing. I remember one running back they had, Mason Hackett. Kid was an absolute monster. He would run over like the big teams in the LCL, like the Heaths and the Granvilles. He would run them over. But now, you know, clearly it's a different time for Newark Catholic, and that leaves, again, that region is wide open. So, Bo, I don't know how much you've seen from the rest of the region, the rest of the slate. Was there anything that caught your eye in terms of some of these other games, some of these other scores?
No, but we'll go back to talking to last week. I went and saw Athens Marietta. Very impressed by Athens. I feel like if you compete with them in one half, and I mean, truly should have been a game we won in one half. You can't take a lot out of that with a busted pass play. But Athens should run the table, and I think that Week 10 game against Nelsonville York will be a classic.
Yeah, I agree. It has potential to be one of the classic games in that rivalry. Athens, of course, took the Don Kramer Trophy back last year from Nelsonville York, and we'll have a chance to defend it this year on the road as well in Bookdale. That'll be a huge game for both of those schools, and yeah, it could be a 9-0 Athens roll into Bookdale, and that would make things.
And another game is Ironton Cabell Midland. 63-7 is absolutely ridiculous. I am glad I went to Ohio State.
That you didn't see something much better at Ohio State.
That's true.
Well, I didn't.
56-0 over Western Michigan.
You got the best damn band in the land out of it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's
well, I mean,
fair.
that Ironton team is special. I mean, I remember Carl telling me that score like I think Sunday morning, and I was like, they did what to who? You know, that they're just massacring teams. Again, tomorrow they'll play again on a Saturday. They take on St. Francis from Buffalo, New York. Again, that's part of the advantage for Ironton is that because they're not in the OVC anymore, they can schedule these harder out-of-state teams. They've always scheduled Cabell Midland, but like they can do this game against St. Francis. So, Bo, this Ironton team, do you think they can do it? Do you think they can win the state title?
I have to believe at this point they can now. If you can get through Harvest Prep, who I know they lost. I don't know the exact score to Perkins.
They did lose. I think it was 28-26, I believe, was the score I saw.
What a barn burner.
I know. They were down big early. They made a big fight back, but they couldn't get all the way back.
But that's the Region 19 title game. You can basically lock that in by pencil. Barnesville will give a good fight, but I don't see anyone except Ironton and Harvest Prep playing Week 14 either at Athens or somewhere for the regional title.
Yeah, it was at Athens last year, and that was a classic. If it were at Athens again this year, I'd have to find a way to get there.
Yeah.
Unless we still got a team active, we'd have to find a way to get to that game. That would be crazy. A ton of fun. So, Bo, before we let you go, any last thoughts about Tomcats? Anything on today's slate?
Some things got chippy at the end with Wellston, tempers flaring.
Yeah, frustration a little bit.
I think.
Yeah.
I think Wellston finally, and I'm not no shade to Wellston, but I think they finally ran into a team that's going to hit them back. I'm not saying other teams would hit them back, but maybe they just found the right team that will just hit them back.
Yeah, well, the Tomcats will hit back against pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
So Trimble.
And
with a
before
nice
I go,
and
it means nothing in Week 4, but Drew Pastor has the Tomcats as the 2 seed now, right behind Danville, projected in the playoff. River.
Again, like we said, that region is wide open. There is, Danville's probably a pretty clear one in that region, but behind them, you got a mess. There is a ton of teams that could make a run. Like you said, Newark Catholic could sneak in at 2-8 and go to the regional final, and no one would bat an eye. So, again, it is wide open. Bo, we always appreciate you calling in. Thanks so much for your time once again, and we look forward to hearing from you next week.
Of course.
That is my guy, Bo, from the Tomcats. Always good to hear from him. That's always a good perspective to have as well. We're going to take another break. When we come back, more reaction from around the region. This is Football Friday Night, presented by General Mills.
For 190 years, Austin Powder Company has been the name you can trust in the mining industry. Our legacy is built on safety, customer care, and a great workplace. From the first blast to the final haul, we've been there every step of the way. Ready to be part of our tradition of excellence? The Red Diamond Austin Powder plant in MacArthur is now hiring. Visit austinpowder.com or call 596-7940 to apply today and start your journey with a global leader in the industry. Why not come work for an exciting company offering great benefits, challenging opportunities, and with colleagues that feel like family? Austin Powder Company, improving the world we live in through safe and responsible use of explosives.
Are you tired of dealing with malfunctioning garage doors? Look no further than True Track Garage Doors in Londonderry. Our team of experienced technicians specialize in garage door repairs, installation, and maintenance services. Whether you need a simple repair or a brand new garage door installation, we've got you covered. At True Track Garage Doors, we prioritize customer satisfaction and ensure that your garage door is functioning properly and safely. Contact us today at 740-596-1000 to schedule an appointment or request a free estimate. Call True Track to get you back on track.
Are you age 55 plus and ready to make a difference in your community? COAD's AmeriCorps Senior Retired Senior Volunteer Program allows seniors age 55 and up who pass a background check to help with community-based services such as veteran services, disaster relief, and environmental care through local nonprofits. If this interests you, please contact Danielle Woodyard at 740-286-4918 or email dwoodyard@coadinc.org. COAD, the Corporation for Ohio Appalachian Development, is here to help you and the community.
Everyone knows Nick's Station is home to Footlong Fridays. But did you also know that it's home to the best burgers and milkshakes in town? Bring your kids for a soft serve ice cream treat or have some quality time with family and friends with a delicious lunch or dinner at Nick's. Nick's Station is located at 1111 Chestnut Street in Nelsonville and open Tuesday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Come on down to Nick's Station in Nelsonville, home to Footlong Fridays and fresh, delicious food and ice cream treats, served up quickly with a smile.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. The Lifeline works. You are not alone in crisis. For 24/7 confidential support, just call, text, or chat 988. Brought to you by the Suicide Prevention Coalitions of Athens, Gallia, Jackson, Meigs, and Pike counties.
Need new tires? Rick's Tire and Auto has you covered. Looking for top-notch auto service? Rick's Tire and Auto has expertise. And now they're bringing their A-game to Athens County. Owned by Rick Dieter, formerly of Huddle Tire in Athens. Rick's Tire and Auto Service is located at 1353 East Canal Street in Nelsonville. Right off the first Nelsonville exit on 33 West. Stop in for a quick tire change or oil change or schedule an appointment by calling 220-218-4169. At Rick's Tire and Auto, we have your vehicle covered.
Looking to buy or sell a home in Southern Ohio? Turn to Howard Hanna Real Estate Services and the McNerlin Network team. We offer a full range of services including mortgages, insurance, and title services to ensure a smooth process. Our new Buy Borrow Bundle program can save buyers up to $10,000 at closing and attract more buyers when selling. Ready to get started? Call 740-702-6000 or text 614-607-8201 for a free consultation. Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, where your home happens here.
Are you craving mouth-watering, finger-licking barbecue that'll have you coming back for more? Look no further than Pig Iron Smokehouse Barbecue and Grill, where real wood and real flavor rules supreme. Sink your teeth into our signature smoked ribs, tender pulled pork, and juicy brisket, all slow-cooked to perfection with our secret blend of spices. And don't forget our delectable sides. From creamy mac and cheese to tangy coleslaw, there's something to satisfy every craving. Come visit us at our location in the Plains or online. Pig Iron Smokehouse Barbecue and Grill, real wood, real flavor.
Back inside Holzer Health Studios, it's Football Friday Night, presented by General Mills. Going to go through the scores one more time in case you missed them. We just, we got on a little late. We had to run through the scores real quick. Then we had a few different people call in. Good to get. We had 4 guests, right? Yeah, four guests already. We had Dan.
Yeah.
We had Jeff. We had Daniel. And then we had Bo. So,
Yep.
yeah, we've already had 4 people on the show. We got them all in, and now we got a little bit of time here to get through the scores one more time. So I think we'll roll through the scores. We'll hit one more commercial break, and then I think, or no, we have one more break after that. We'll get through it. We'll get through it. We want to get you as much football content as we can here, but we had to catch up on a lot of things. So let's get right to it. Over on XTQ, Pure Rock 105, what a game between Federal Hocking and Belpre, and the Lancers get a win that I know they'll be so happy about because they got it the right way. They won. They played almost 5 quarters and got a win in overtime against Belpre, 48-40. Athens, the train is well out the station. The train is halfway to Canton. Athens is dominating right now, 47-0 over Alexander. Vinton County takes down Meigs 49-17. Congratulations to Coach Games, first win of his coaching career at Vinton County. Wahama takes down Ravenswood 62-19. Jackson, all over Western Brown early. And that one, we talked about that a little bit earlier on, 49-14. Just talked about this game. Trimble on YPC took down Wellston 38-18 on CJO. Oak Hill falls in a tight one to Minford, 22-21. But again, the Oak Hill, the strides just continue to be made. They're battling in every single game. And like we talked about on that package earlier, they're going to battle. There's not going to be running clocks. There's not going to be cancellations. This Oak Hill team's going to fight. And they're going to be a tough team to beat for almost anybody this year. Waverly takes down Valley 27-21 with their big rivalry coming up next week against Portsmouth West. Piketon all over Huntington 46-0. Piketon's really starting to round into form. That loss that they had a couple weeks ago to Wellston seems like it woke them up. Fayetteville Perry falls ugly to Beaver Eastern 70-0. The Eagles win that one. Nelsonville York over River Valley 48-7. There are 2 games tomorrow, by the way, that are on our sheet that we don't have scores for yet. Eastern Meigs travels to Shelby Valley in Kentucky tomorrow. And then we mentioned this one earlier on. Ironton will host St. Francis from New York. Ironton has not lost in 18 regular season home games at home. They got a fortress down there. That is, I think it's like 6th in the state or something like that. They have a nice little run going there. Fort Fry over Waterford, 35-7. The Coach Huck dominance continues. Portsmouth West just like that, back to 500. 18-17, they take down Chillicothe. Miami Trace looking good. They take down Bethel Tate 34-7. Granville all over Courthouse 70-14. That's a team that, Jackson and Athens will be looking out for in Division III Region 11 as the Granville Blue Aces. Zane Trace over Washington Courthouse 27-14. Over Adina 27-6. Sorry, I put my game sheets together. It's a miracle I haven't made that mistake sooner. Payne Valley over Southeastern 62-6. Again, that last score was Zane Trace 27, Adina 6. The Pioneers pick up win number 1 on the season for them. It's strange saying that so late in the year, but Unioto gets win number 1. They move to 1-3. Colgrove takes down Chesapeake and ends their unbeaten season 44-14. Fairland continues their unbeaten run 49-14 and ends Rock Hills. Rock Hill falls 3-1. 49-14 was that final. South Point gets win number 1 as well over Sims Valley 44-6. Wheelersburg gets win number 1 as well. They take down Northwest 31-0. South Gallia gets a win over Fisher Catholic 35-7. Portsmouth Notre Dame ended up taking down Miami Valley Christian 12-9 today. Sciotaville East picks up win number 1 as well, another first-time winner on the season. They beat Manchester 40-28. Marietta moves to 3-1. They take down Claymont 28-13. Again, I was looking at D3 Region 11 earlier today. Marietta's not even in the playoff spots, and they're 3-1. There are going to be good teams in that region that miss the playoffs, and that's weird to say because with the expansion, not a lot of good teams miss the playoffs. I mean, I remember Piketon last year at 6-4 missed the playoffs. There were a couple of cases like that, but there's going to be real good teams, especially in that region, that miss the playoffs. Warren takes down Cambridge 47-7. Warren's another one in that region that, they play Athens in a couple weeks. That could be a big game. St. Francis Ironton is tomorrow. Logan Elm over Circleville 35-17. Bloom Carroll over Amanda Clear Creek 35-10. New Lex over West Musk. What a big win that is for the Panthers. And they might run the table. They might just mess around and run the table in the MVL small school, and they might be one of the favorites in Division IV Region 15. I was looking at that. They really might be the top dog in that region. And then Pick Central harshly welcomes Logan to the OCC, 54-0, the final score in that one. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to sit down. I think finally we'll do a segment with just 3 of us. We'll sit down. We'll talk a little bit about some of these games. Look ahead maybe a little bit to next week as well. You're listening to Football Friday Nights, presented by General Mills.
This is XYZ Insurance. How can I help?
I have a question about my home policy.
Okay, question about phone policy.
Home policy.
Okay, gnome policy.
HOME, home.
Technology is great, but sometimes it's better to talk with a real person. With Erie Insurance, you have a caring, independent agent who's with you from beginning to end. Your Erie agent is McFadden Insurance. Get a quote today by calling 753-1905. Go to erieinsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
The General Mills Company of Wellston, manufacturers of great items like Totino's Pizza and Totino's Pizza Rolls, are proud to be a part of the Southern Ohio community. The General Mills Company, just like its hard-working employees in Southern Ohio, are proud supporters of our area youth. The General Mills Company wishes good luck to all area high school teams this season. A message from your friends at General Mills Company in Wellston.
Football season is here. Keep your athletes at their best with Holzer in Athens. Dr. Jason Cox Orthopedics and Dr. Aaron Ramsey Chiropractic Care are currently accepting new patients. From follow-up care to injury repair, our healthcare team at Holzer Athens will keep your athlete in the game. Call 855-446-5937 to schedule your appointment today. That's 855-446-5937.
Southeast Appalachian Regional Community Health of Ohio is proud to present The Search Project. The Search Project through the Jackson County Health Department is a program designed to decrease the negative impacts of COVID-19 and other public health issues and promote healthy behaviors through the deployment of community health work. The project is funded by CDC and serves 11 counties in southeastern Ohio. For more information, contact the Jackson County Health Department at 740-935-6322.
Are you looking to make a difference in a child's life? At Necco Foster Care, we believe every child deserves a loving home. Join our community of caring families and provide a safe, nurturing environment for kids in need. With support and training every step of the way, you can be the change a child needs. Are you ready to open your heart and home? Contact Necco Foster Care today and make a lasting impact. Visit necco.org or call 740-263-2626. Together, we can create brighter futures. Necco, we build families.
Looking for a home away from home for your furry friend? Welcome to Red Woof Inn, where tails wag and dreams come true. At Red Woof, we offer spacious play areas, cozy naps, and personalized care from our dedicated team. Whether your pup loves fetch or just snuggling, we've got it covered. Our facilities are top-notch and our staff are dog lovers through and through. From playtime adventures to treat-filled cuddle sessions, we ensure your pup has a blast. Give your dog a vacation they'll love at Red Woof Inn, located on Old Dixon Road in MacArthur. Call 740-649-8640 to book your fur baby stay while spots are still available.
Back inside the Holzer Health Studios, it's Football Friday Nights presented by General Mills. Got about 15 or so minutes left with you all. Ethan Sargent, Eric Bub Landrum in the studio, recapping what was a action-packed for sure slate of Week 4 in Ohio high school football in the 7-4-0. Just taking a look at what we had this week, and we talked about most impressive performance. What's a team you think that will probably look back and say, man, we really could have done better today?
Bub?
I'm going to look at Adena on this one, falling to 0-3 Zane Trace. Adena was a team that started off the season hot, fell last week, and now they continue to struggle, falling 27-6 to Zane Trace, and the Pioneers getting their first win of the season.
I like that.
I think for me, it's going to be Chesapeake coming in 3-0.
That probably would have been my pick.
A lot of hype behind this Chesapeake squad, and you brought it up. Was this Chesapeake for real? It seems like a constant question we have with the Panthers. Started off the year hot last year, finished the year just 3-7 a year ago. The last thing you want is a repeat of that type of year if you're a Panthers fan. So I think for Chesapeake in a very open conference with the Ironton out of the equation, I think Fairland's starting to separate themselves a little bit from the rest of the conference.
Yeah.
But I think Chesapeake can definitely rebound in that conference.
Yeah, for sure. And again, you're still 3-1. You got to shake this loss off. You got to be ready to go next week for sure. I think we'll save our next week plans for a little bit later on in the week, where we're still, I think, going through and figuring out where we're going to go next week. So
sure.
we'll save that. I'm sure we'll announce that at some point on our Facebook at some point. But what are some games you guys are looking forward to in Week 5? There are some good ones. I could shout out a couple. I know on our stations, our game of the week on Pure Rock 105 is Nelsonville York at Waterford. That's a fun game. Athens takes on Vinton County. Last year, Vinton County won a thriller over Athens. You'd expect Athens to win that game this year, but who knows? Could be fun. I think the funnest two games are the two down that I see on the bottom of our radio list. Waverly travels to take on Portsmouth West. That is a big-time game. Yeah. And then Zane Trace, coming off the back of that win, gets a red-hot Piketon squad who are coming off a shutout win against Huntington. So that is a big-time game. I'm excited to see what happens in that one. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of ran down through the number of great games in the area. I think you can make a really good statement for Vinton County. Team that got their first win at Athens, just a team carrying some momentum into Joe Burrow Stadium, which is always a fun place to not only go watch a game, but also play football in. Yeah. Just a great environment. So I think, in Athens right now in that conference, they're going to get everyone's haymaker at this point going forward. Athens is the moving target in that conference, but moving being the key word, and they move forward. The only thing stopping them a lot of drives is the end zone, Bub.
Yeah, and I'll throw Miami Trace and Western Brown in there as well as an interesting game. Miami Trace is the team that's peaking at the right time, and then you got Western Brown who fell to Jackson, and this will be Jackson set the bar for the FAC as to what what you need to do to Western Brown, and Miami Trace is going to play them in Week 5, so they're going to have to match Jackson's at least match Jackson's energy going into that game. I don't know if they're going to match the pace at which Jackson put up points because it was an unrivaled pace.
Yeah,
but I mean, they still got to put up offensive production and still slow down Western Brown if they want to make a statement going into FAC play against Jackson.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I think that again, like I said, I mentioned this when Dan was in here. I think again when you look at the rest of the schedule for Jackson, I'd expect them to probably comfortably win the rest of their FCC games. They'll probably beat Ross next week. But the one game that sticks out to me in the regular season that a team that could give them trouble is Miami Trace. I think it is the only team left on their schedule that can really give Jackson a football game. I think that they can hang. I don't know if they can win, but they can hang and they can play. And maybe if a couple balls go their way, if they get a turnover, maybe if they get a couple of bounces to fall into their hands, then maybe, just maybe, they can make everything work out. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think that would probably be the closest thing to. But again, you'd expect Jackson to run the rest of the table, don't you think?
I think so. I don't think, especially after the offensive performance we saw tonight. I think the only question with Jackson on their schedule was really Ironton. I know the Berg was a big test, but I think just really that Ironton squad was the only question mark for this Jackson team. I think they bounced back. They've shown that they're resilient. They went into Ed Miller Stadium. They knocked off Wheelersburg, and another nice win tonight, knocking off a 3-0 Western Brown squad. The offense is for real. I know we always give Jackson credit for being able to run the ball and play great defense, but Bodie Wolford continuing the progression. I mean, he's as efficient as anybody. Dan Morrow giving us the statistics on what he did just the first half alone. Just incredible.
That was so well delivered, by the way.
He knew.
I wasn't expecting
man,
that. Yeah.
What a pro. He knew what he was doing.
Oh, he did.
You want to hear some more insane first half stats from another game?
Sure.
The Eastern Beaver game where they finished 70-0.
Yep.
Oh, my
that game
gosh.
was called in the third quarter, first of all, for an injury.
Wow. Oh, wow. I mean,
And
yeah, at that
second of
point,
all,
just
quarterback
boy.
Eric Manley threw for 7 first half touchdowns.
That's
wow. That
That's
is manly.
that is manly.
That is.
So you want to
insane.
talk about some video game numbers?
Yeah, we're gonna have to some point because I do
can't
know
do
that
that in my video game.
They cover, a lot of the local papers and all that. They usually collect stats, and that's how I found a lot of the stats that I got this week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try and dig and find the yards.
Yeah.
And the completions on that because like some of the schools post on Max Preps, it's a little tough to find stats in Southeast Ohio. It's a little difficult at times, but I think we can, usually Beaver Eastern updates it occasionally, and then if not, we got a bunch of good broadcasters that I can text who usually they get their hands on it. So, very excited to see how they play because again, another school in 27 that I think we could be seeing playing meaningful football late into November.
Yeah.
And that is, again, like that region's so wide open. Trimble could win it. Beaver Eastern could win it. Danville could win it. Anybody, really, could go win that region. I think it's wide open. We got about, I think we'll do like we got about a couple more minutes left here. We got one more break, and then we'll do closing thoughts, quick roundup of scores. I guess we can do closing thoughts now because then we'll just roll through the scores at the end. Biggest takeaway, I guess, from the night, and then what are we most looking forward to?
I think there was a lot of my biggest takeaway was I don't think that I learned a ton about.
Yeah,
much.
I agree.
A lot of separation between these teams playing tonight. I mean, look down through here and look at the schools that scored 30 or more in the opposing schools that scored single digits. So I don't think we learned a ton, but what we did learn was that the teams that did surprise picked up nice wins and set up some really interesting things for conference football kicking off.
Yeah.
Benton County, I think, well, it kind of showed us that, struggled against some of the bigger schools, but we may have something to say in this TVC. Zane Trace doing the exact same thing in the SVC.
We know how big that Benton County Wellston game is. That's a huge rivalry. And
Week
and
10,
Benton County
another
will
backyard brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another, we talked about the bridge last week with that trophy. That's another sick, they got a train track. It's a rail track trophy in that game. That'll mean a lot. And I know Benton County's won the last couple of years. I think Wellston will be eager to potentially try and get a win in that one in Week 10.
And another thing, not to take too much up here, but I was paying attention to this. Now we get to look at a playoff picture where with 16 teams involved, these games where these teams are 4-5, 5-4 meeting at the end of the year, they mean something.
They're almost de facto playoff games. We've
Right.
seen it happen in the past where, winners in, losers out. And again, we could, really starting about next week after that is when we really start to look at ITEL and Pasteur, and we start to crunch the numbers a little bit and see where teams are at and what, Pasteur does such a good job of looking ahead and seeing what the numbers look like. And it is going to start to become important. Bub, what about you this week? What did you see?
I think Athens' defense is getting overlooked. I know the offense puts up huge numbers statistically, but this defense has only given up about 10 points a game through 4 weeks. So I think it's time they get their credit. They pitched a shutout this week. I know Alexander isn't the highest scoring offensive team, but whenever your team's putting up 7 touchdowns a game, I mean, your defense is on their heels a little bit.
Some bulldogs defensively.
Yeah. So they're playing really well, or really good defense, and complementing it on the offensive side. So they're rolling right now.
Hey, they are. Those dogs are barking. That's for sure.
Their bite's worse than their bark.
Absolutely. No, it is. That team is not all bark. Not all bark. Man, Cedric Ranger's somewhere listening to this, smiling at me. We're going to take one more break. When we come back, we'll run through the scores real quick one final time and wrap things up here. It's been another awesome football Friday night presented by General Mills.
Hungry for some home-cooked goodness just like Grandma's? Come on down to Mammy's Country Kitchen in Albany. Whether it's our mouth-watering meatloaf, crisp salads, or our creamy mashed potatoes, we've got something to satisfy every craving. Savor some of our homemade noodles, rolls, and desserts. At Mammy's, we believe in good food and great company. Bring your family and friends and stay a while. We're located in the historic Albany Schoolhouse on the hill behind the library. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 8, Saturday and Sunday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mammy's Country Kitchen, where every meal feels like home.
Tired of that annoying drip? Call Rogers Plumbing and More. With over 20 years of experience, Rogers Plumbing and More has been your trusted local expert for residential plumbing. From running toilets to hot water tanks on the brink, Rogers is your go-to for all your plumbing needs. Call Rogers Plumbing and More at 740-447-4589. Rogers Plumbing and More. We fix it right the first time. Visit us online at rogersplumbingandmore.com.
Trying to find a durable new look for your retail office, house, garage, or new barn dominium? Higgins Steel Roofing and Siding has added 2 new profiles within the past year that would make great options. A heavier 26-gauge metal board and batten with several colors to choose from adds a fresh new look to any project regardless of size. Or come in and check out our new options for standing seam. If it's steel roofing and siding, it comes from Higgins. Located in Hillsboro and Jackson, Higgins Steel Roofing and Siding. Family owned and operated since 1958.
Calling all hunters and outdoor enthusiasts. It's time to gear up for your next adventure with our buy one, get 2 free sale on select styles at Rocky Outdoor Gear Store. That's right, 3 pairs of boots for the price of 1. Whether you plan to hit the deer woods this fall, need new hiking boots for the trails, or even a new pair of work boots, we've got you covered. So don't miss out. Stop and see us today at the Rocky Outdoor Gear Store. Open Monday through Saturday at 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sunday 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Come get fully set up for the fall at the Rocky Outdoor Gear Store.
At Adventure Pro Outdoors, we are the experts in outdoor fun. Spend the day on the Hocking River, canoeing, kayaking, or tubing. Sling some mud through Wayne National Forest on a guided Polaris side-by-side tour. Or book a 3-wheeled slingshot and experience the most scenic highways in Southeast Ohio.
Come meet the Adventure Pro staff on Canal Street in Nelsonville, Ohio.
New memories start here. Visit AdventureProOutdoors.com.
The General Mills Company of Wellston, manufacturers of great items like Totino's Pizza and Totino's Pizza Rolls, are proud to be a part of the Southern Ohio community. The General Mills Company, just like its hard-working employees in Southern Ohio, are proud supporters of our area youth. The General Mills Company wishes good luck to all area high school teams this season. A message from your friends at General Mills Company in Wellston.
Back inside of the studio, it's Football Friday night. Gonna have to fly through these scores a little bit. I might go a little past 12. I hope it's not too much of an ask, but hopefully we'll get through this real quick, and we will send you guys on your way for hopefully a great weekend. Bobcats football tomorrow. Morgan State, it is Parents Weekend. Hopefully the Bobcats can get up to 2-1 on the year. The 3 of us will be back on the air. Really excited for tomorrow. Should be a lot of fun on the Bobcat tailgate. 1:30 is the tune-in time for that over on Pure Rock 105. If you're listening for the Cats. Let's go through the scores one final time. Fedhawk took down Belpre 48-40. Athens over Alexander 47-0. Meigs falls to Vinton County 49-17. Portsmouth over Gallia Academy 47-0. Wahama over Ravenswood 62-19. Jackson over Western Brown 49-14. Trimble over Wellston 38-18. Minford over Oak Hill, 22-21. Waverly over Valley, 27-21. Piketon over Huntington, 46-0. Beaver over Fayetteville Perry, 70-0. Nelsonville York over River Valley, 48-7. Fort Fry over Waterford, 35-7. Portsmouth West over Chillicothe, 18-17. Miami Trace, 37. Bethel Tate, 34-7. Miami Trace over Bethel Tate. Granville, 70. Washington Courthouse, 14. Zane Trace, 27. Dena, 6. Paint Valley, 62. Southeastern, 6. Unioto, 35. Westfall, nothing. Coal Grove, 44. Chesapeake, 14. Fairland, 49. Rock Hill, 14. South Point, 44. Sims Valley, 6. Wheelersburg, 31. Northwest, nothing. South Galley, 35. Fisher Catholic, 7. Portsmouth, Notre Dame, 12. Miami Valley Christian, 9. Sciotoville East, 40. Manchester, 28. Marietta, 28. Claymont, 13. Warren, 47. Cambridge, 7. Logan Elm, 35. Circleville, 17. Amanda Clear Creek, 10. Bloom Carroll, 35. New Lexington, 38. West Muskingum, 35. Pickerington Central, 54. Logan, nothing. And our last 2 games on our sheet, Shelby Valley versus Eastern and St. Francis versus Ironton. Not been played yet. Those 2 games will be tomorrow. For Eric and Bub, it has been another awesome Football Friday presented by General Mills. Huge shout out and thank you to all of our sponsors who help make this show possible. Tune in tomorrow, Bobcat Tailgate, before the Ohio Bobcat football team looks to get to 2-1. They will try and take down the FCS opponent, Morgan State. We'll be live at 1:30 over on Pure Rock 105. And then, of course, next week we will be live once again. Football Friday kickoff, Football Friday night from somewhere around the 740. We'll announce it at some point later this week. Once again, thank you so much to everybody who tuned in Friday kickoff, Friday night, to any of our games around the region. Huge shout out to all of you guys to listening, staying up late, and hope you have a great weekend, great rest of your night, and we will see you next Friday. Appreciate it. Have a great one, everyone.
This has been General Mills Football Friday Night. It was brought to you by Adventure Pro Outdoors, Coad, General Mills, Higgins Steel Roofing, Holzer, Jackson County Health Department Search Program, Necco Forest Care, Red Wolf Inn, Rocky Boots, Suicide Prevention, and brought to you locally by Austin Powder, Mammy's Country Kitchen, McFadden Insurance, Nick Station, Rick's Tire and Auto, Pig Iron Smokehouse Barbecue and Grill, and Rogers Plumbing and more.
Broadcasting from the Holzer Health System studios with 2 locations in Athens. Southeast Ohio's hometown rock station is Pure Rock 105 WXTQ, Athens, USA. A total media station.